So here we are with the F-35, not the F-35 that you might think it is, but still is a Draken that I really wanted to show the differences in performance against the Drakens that we have in the Tech Tree and as a premium. So we're gonna test it out, the new F-35, the Squadron Draken of the Swedish Tech Tree, against the XS model and the D model, okay, both from the Tech Tree and as a premium. Okay, so we are using War Thunder real-time information. You can see down there. We're gonna test it out some stuff, and then of course we're gonna take a look on StatShark as well to see if the tests corroborate. Okay, so the first test, it is maximum thrust. It should be the same. Okay, these engines, they are pretty much the same, and you will notice that this engine produces around 10,000 kilogram force, right, which is it means around 100 kilonewtons. So as you can see, we are at around 101 kilonewtons right now. Let's see if we can get more. Yeah, there you go. So around 101 kilonewtons. And in the D model, we have basically the same power. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit better, but it's around the same thrust that we have in these higher airspeeds, okay? So yeah, like I said, it produces basically the same thrust, and it basically produces this, it has the same weight. The excess in this term of max thrust, also with around the same thrust as before, 101 kilonewtons. So all of them have basically the same thrust. If we do a test of turn, we can see that, of course, these aircraft, all of them can do Cobras. Let's see the amount of, turn that we can do. 25, 26, 27, 28, yeah. Around 26 to 27 to even 28 degrees per second of a turn, which means that it can do very good turns. But of course, if you take a while to, continue to go straight, you will lose a lot, and the turn will become 16, of course, 15 and stuff like that, right? In the turn, the D model can produce a little bit more turn. As you see, it reached 30, almost 31 degrees per second. And even in the lower airspeeds, as you can see, you are around 2 to 4 degrees per second more than the F-35 model, bringing the attention that, yeah, it might have some similarities in the aircraft. The F-35 is worse than this D model. And even in the turn, in the XS model, you can see that you can bring up to 30 degrees as well, right? And even in the lower airspeeds, it becomes better than what the D model was, right? So in a general perspective, again, the XS and the D model, they are very similar, and they are better than the D model. You can even pull a little bit more, maybe 31, depending on situation, but yeah. In acceleration, we can see that these aircraft can bring in the 600s, 700s, 7 meters per second squared, which is a pretty good acceleration, and it will go down the more we have speed. But yeah, very good. 6 to 7 around that era, depending from 600 to 1000 kilometers per hour. You can maintain that level of energy gain very easily. So the D model, as you're gonna see in the acceleration, can be very, very similar to the F-35 model, and even greater sometimes. Let's see if we can get more. Yeah, as you see, it's a little bit more, right? Between 7 to 8 instead of 6 to 7, right? So it accelerates a little bit better, the Draken D, although they both have the same weight and the same thrust, which is pretty interesting. The XS model will have a similar thrust to 8, but basically acceleration to the D model, as you can see, between 7 to 8. So increase it over the XS, which is pretty interesting, right? Again, all these aircraft, they have the same weight, right, and the same thrust, but they are all different in the flight model. And remember, they added a second gun to the F-35, which is pretty cool, right? So yeah, let's take a look on StatShark to see if we can see any major differences there from the findings that we had. And even here on StatShark, the difference will be the same, okay? So as you see, all of them have the same thrust, okay? So yeah, as you see, all of them have the same thrust, the 3 of them. In the terms of drag, you will see that the XS and the D model are very similar to each other, with the XS having a tiny little bit more drag than, it's not that tiny actually, but 100 kilogram force more than the actual, like, between the D and the XS. But you can see right there, the F-35 has a lot more drag, right? And this will be the main difference. This will affect the aircraft in every single scenario. They have the same thrust, as I said. They have the same, weight and everything. But at the end of the day, the acceleration, for example, will be worse, just like we saw it. Here it's even worse, or it's around the same as we find it, right? Basically what we found. So very good, because we are basically having the same results at StatShark, right? But yeah, in acceleration, if we go to time to speed, for example, the amount of time that it takes for you to actually accelerate, it will always be the F-35 that loses out, as you see, just because it has more drag. So that's the idea that we have here, guys. Although the F-35, I mean, the flight model might not be ready, and I think it isn't, because it's supposed to be lighter, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it's supposed to be lighter. But with what we have right now, the F-35 is draggier, having the same weight and thrust, which means lower turn capability, as you see right there, 2 to 3 degrees per second, more or less, on the max possible outcome over here, with less, more time to accelerate, with less overall capabilities in general in a dogfight, okay? And that's kind of it. I know, it's kind of underwhelming. I thought the F-35 would be better, but it's good for us to actually have these tests so that we can have these results and really put out there that indeed the F-35 is not as great as people think. And remember, this is the same BR as the XS, right? Which is kind of sad, because you still have the flares, but you don't have 6 missiles, you only have 2. So hopefully it's work in progress and they will change this aircraft. If not, it won't be too good to use unless you are doing air-to-ground stuff. Then the F-35 is really, really good. But basically this is it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.